In this video, we will discuss about mechanical forces and acute immune response. What is the relationship between them? So we will start with this panel A, where when the skin observes a danger signals. So examples that are shown here is that when the skin is infected with bacteria or antigenic debris, then it will cause, or there is a wound, then it will trigger the danger signals where it will attract Langerhans cells, and these Langerhans cells will release the cytokines such as interleukin 1 beta, interleukin 6, and this will lead to the attraction of the immune cells at the site of infections, such as this hyaluronic acid macrophages, fibroblast will reach at the site of infections. And after that, what will happen is that the immune systems usually gets activated, and there are different ways that are shown here. That is when the neutrophils are reaches and when there is a diapeditis occurs. Diapeditis means when the cells or macrophages moves from circulatory systems inside the tissue, and during that there are some forces that are being observed by those neutrophils, that is compressions, tension, tractions and shear force. And at the same time this edema will also occurs, that also cause these compression tensions and hydrostatic pressures, and these mechanical forces will leads to the upregulations of the pro-inflammatory response. That is, it will trigger the upregulations of the cytokines that leads to the productions of this phagocytosis, and this low PLR thresholds and the prime metabolism for activations, or we can say the pro-inflammatory response gets upregulated when during this diabetes process. And once they target these bacteria, and that will cause this antigens, it will cause their antigens to get interact with these immune cells, thereby activating the dendritic cells to generate antibodies that can specifically targets those immune cells systems. And so this is about the panel B. In the panel C, what will happens? It is more about the innate immune response or the acute immune response, where the T cells and the B cells activations occurs during T cells and B cells activations occurs because of the antigenic informations that has been provided by the dendritic cells. The dendritic cells provides the informations about. So here we can see that through these lymphatic vessels, the dendritic cells will enter in here, and where it interacts with these B cells and the T cells and provide the informations about the antigens, the bacterials or antigenic debris to the T cells and B cells, and that will help the T cells and B cells to generate immune response or antibodies specifically against those antigens, and then it will go the circulatory system through these blood vessels and reach to the site of infections, and there these activated B cells and T cells will act upon this bacteria or antigenic debris that contains those antigens has been provided by the dendritic cells. This is how the mechanical forces, that is through this diabetes and edema, it can triggers the pro-inflammatory response, thereby being complemented by the acute immune response through the dendritic cells. And yeah, so this is, and during this process the activated cells are after targeting at the site of infections, they also targets through this lymph node. They also targets through this lymph node, where the chances of migrations are high, for the cancers such as pancreatic cancers, or for the disease also the migrations probabilities are higher usually in those lymphatic vessels or in the lymph node. So after taking care of this, after taking care of the infection at the site where there is a wound, the B cells and the T cells will also target this lymph node, and once there is no signs for, or once the infections has been neutralized because of the less presence of the bacteria or antigenic debris, the activations of the T cells and B cells goes down, and those activated T cells, B cells will undergo cell death or apoptosis, so that the immune systems can be neutralized to a normal stage. This is how the mechanical forces and acute immune response are related and how they functions. If you need to understand more about their roles or their connections in detail, you can go through the reference that has been provided in the description. That's all for this video. Thank you for your time.